Now let's consider uncertainty in marketing decisions. Price of output, which depends on supply and demand, is an important uncertainty in agriculture. Some of the factors that can affect the price of output is such things as the world and local weather conditions. And it's obvious that local weather conditions are going to have an impact, but also it's important to recognize that world conditions, if there's poor weather in Russia then may demand more of our agricultural products, which is going to have a positive impact on price, and vice versa. Also, you have to consider the production decisions of other producers. For example, when the ethanol was being used as a biofuel to add to gasoline, and the quota was required, then a lot of the a lot of the corn production went into the production of ethanol, and that increased a greater demand for corn, and it created an increase in the price of corn. However, as the price of corn went up, other producers converted their land, cotton land and other land, into corn prices. So farmers had to recognize that the corn prices were not going to be kept artificially high because of ethanol, because other producers were going to start growing corn, which was going to have a downward pressure on corn prices. Also, the price of inputs can have an impact on the price of the commodities, and exchange rates with world trading partners can have an impact if the U.S. dollar goes down relative to another currency, then our commodity becomes cheaper, and more likely there's going to be a greater demand for it, and could have a positive impact on the commodity prices in the U.S. Consumer preferences have an impact. An example of this might be cranberries. When the cranberry industry developed advertising to get people to drink cran apple or other cranberry drinks, it increased the demand for cranberries, and that had a positive impact on the price. And of course, the advertising and market strategies of competitors may also have an impact, not so much in agriculture, but it can in terms of things like marketing particular brands of poultry or beef. The availability of storage, which may provide flexibility in the timing of marketing decisions, also affects uncertainty. And this means that if a farmer has storage, they don't have to sell their particular crop during the harvest season, where there's an abundance of the commodity and prices may be low. or even in a particular year, if the commodity prices are low, a farmer may choose to store it until prices correct itself and are more favorable. Trade agreements and agricultural policy can affect prices. The transportation availability and cost. It may be that a farmer may be able to increase their price of commodity if they can transport their crop to a port, but this will depend on the availability of the transportation and the cost of shipping it. Environmental and food safety regulations can also have an effect on the price of commodities, and certainly the terms of marketing and production contracts have an impact on the prices. Following is a list of ways that can reduce the risk in the marketing decisions. One is to prepare a marketing plan so that you are in a better position to know when to actually sell your commodity. You also need to know your competitors. You need to recognize your comparative marketing advantage that your business might have. In some case, you might want to integrate vertically to ensure a market or form a market alliance. You also need to recognize there might be a niche market. For example, there might be opportunities to grow some organic vegetables that are in increased demand. You might also use forward contracts or hedge your prices. You may invest in storage facilities to increase the flexibility when a crop must be marketed. And you might also look for ways to expand the markets for your product through advertisement, or even in some cases to develop export markets.